Folks, after that 38-13 debacle in San Francisco yesterday, it is time to have a conversation about our general manager, Ryan Poles. Stay tuned. Welcome to Bears Yard, the home of opinionated Chicago Bears talk. This your boy Vipe, and yes, as much as it pains me to do, it is time to have a conversation, an uncomfortable conversation about our general manager, Ryan Poles. So, he has been the GM of the Chicago Bears for 3 seasons now, and the team's record in those 3 seasons are putrid, 14-33. I mean, if you look at the game yesterday, the team looked uninspired. They looked like they were planning for their trip to Cancun. They looked like they were making business decisions. It just looked like uninspired football, especially considering the fact that we just fired Eberflus, and by all the accounts of the players, they all want him out of there. So you finally get him out of there, and that's how they thank you. That's how they play. So the blame has to go to Ryan Poles. Now, I think part of Ryan Poles' problem is that he's a little bit too emotionally attached to people, especially as the general manager of a football team. If you watch him on Hard Knocks, the emotion that he showed when he had to cut Adrian Colbert, what? Wow. Like, Adrian Colbert is like the ninth roster safety on anybody's team. He's not that important. So while I get that you establish a relationship with Adrian, it should not be that much emotion in cutting him. He was never going to make the team anyway. You knew that. So what is really going on? And then we can fast forward to this season and him keeping Eberflus half a season too long. Although there are conflicting reports as to whether or not the McCaskey forced Poles to keep Eberflus. I don't know, but Eberflus went there 12 games too long, and just him hiring Eberflus, again, a bad notch on Poles' GM record. Now, if you look at the people that he traded for and everything else he's done in his GM time, he traded a second round pick for Chase Claypool. Ugh, terrible. That went bad. Then he traded another second round pick for Montez Sweat. We like that trade. And then he traded for Kenny Allen this season, and we're still wondering if that's okay. I mean, Kenny Allen has been so-so this year, and he's aging, and he's been injured, so there's that whole thing going on. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the blockbuster trade that Atlanta Carolina won their 2-2s and everything else that it landed to get Caleb Williams and DJ Moore and everything else in between. So that trade was definitely a home run hit by Ryan Poles. But again, that trade is pretty much the good of what he's done. Everything else that has surrounded that trade has been kind of bad. But we have to include that trade in the things that Ryan Poles has done in his tenure as Bears GM. But in this video, I want to focus on the draft picks and the free agent signings that Poles has signed since he became general manager back in 2022. So if we start with the draft picks, right? So in the first offseason at GM in 2022, in the second round, he drafted Kyler Gordon. Solid draft pick. Can't really complain about that one too much. Then in the same second round, he drafted Jaquan Brisker. He's been a solid player when healthy, although he's battling a concussion right now. Then with the third round in 2022, he drafted Velus Jones Jr. Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started on his emotional attachment to Velus and not cutting him soon enough. My goodness. He could have traded for Velus Jones, but I digress. In the fifth round, he drafted Braxton Jones, tried to turn a fifth round tackle into a cornerstone. That is not working out at all. Then the fifth round again, he drafted Dominic Robinson. Didn't work out. And then we got sixth round picks, Zachary Thomas, where is he? Treston Ebner, where is he? Doug Kramer, we know where he is, oh Lord. Jatari Carter was in the seventh round. Elijah Hickson still there, seventh round pick. Trenton Gill, no longer with us. So those are the 2022 picks. So in that draft alone, you have what? Gordon and Bricker was solid. Jones, okay-ish. So 3 solid picks out of that 2022 draft out of the 11 picks. I think we had 11 picks that round. So out of 11 picks, 3 of them were solid for Ryan Poles in 2022. That's not a good start, my guy. Not a good start. So moving on to 2023 draft, he drafted in the first round Darnell Wright. Seems to be hitting so far. We like that one. Second round pick, he drafted Gervon Dexter Sr. I think he's ascending, so solid pick. Then he drafted Tyree Stevenson. Tyree Stevenson's a nutcase. I mean, it seems like a good pick, but he kind of regressed this year. Zach Pickens was picked in the third round. Where is he? Fourth round pick, he picked Roshan Johnson and Tyler Scott. Roshan's been okay. Tyler Scott can't even get on the field this season, so what's going on there? And then the fifth round pick, he picked Noah Sewell. Been injured the entire time. Has he ever played in the game for the Bears? I think he has, maybe. And Terrell Smith in the fifth round that year. Terrell Smith been solid, so we like that pick. Travis Bell was picked in the seventh round. He's no longer on the team. Also, Kendall Williamson was picked in the seventh round as well. no longer on the team. So, or I think he might be on the practice squad. I don't know. But so we look at the 2023 draft. How many solid picks? Right, Dexter Stevenson. I think those are solid picks. Roshan, that could be a solid pick. So you got 4, 5, if you include Terrell Smith. So 5 solid picks out of the 2023 draft. Half of the picks in the 2023 draft kind of were solid. I don't know if he picked any out superstars, though, any blue chip prospects. None of these people I've named in the first 2 years of him drafting have been home run picks. They've been good, solid, but none of them have been blue chip cornerstone, which brings us to the 2024 draft. And we all know who we drafted in the 2024 draft, but I'll go over it anyway. In the first round, we drafted Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. Those are 2 blue chippers, so he definitely landed those pretty well. Round 3, landed a Karan Amagaji, the offensive lineman who's been injured. We drafted him knowing he had injury history, but he's gotten a little playing time this year. Jury's still out on him. We drafted Tory Hunter in the 4th round. He's been solid, but I mean, you're picking a punter in the 4th round. That's a little high for a punter. And then the 5th round, Austin Booker, who showed in preseason, but hasn't really shown up much this season. So in this current draft, I would say 3 solid picks. Williams, Odunze, and Tory Taylor are all solid picks, although Tory Taylor is a punter. So what is that? So out of 3 years of drafting for Ryan Poles, I would say 2 picks out of the 20-some-odd picks that we've had in his GM tenure, 2 of them have been solid, no doubt, blue chip prospects, and that's Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze. The rest of the picks are good to so-so to just terrible. And wow, when you got like 20-some-odd picks and only 2 of them are going to be cornerstone for your franchise, yeah, you're not doing too good. Which brings us to the free agent signings that Ryan Poles has done in the 3 offseasons that he's had at Bear GM. So let's roll that tape. All right, so looking at the free agency signing from 2022, we scroll down the list here. First up, Nicholas Morrow, not on the team. And then we keep it moving to Matthew Adams, who is that? Not on the team. Keep it moving to Lucas Patrick. We all know how that went. Blech. Keep it moving to Justin Jones, not on the team. Keep it going. We have Al-Qadim Muhammad, garbage, not on the team. Keep it moving to Ryan Griffin, not on the team. Keep it moving to Equinemius St. Brown, not on the team. And we're moving to Dante Pettis, not on the team. Do you sense a pattern here? Byron Pringle, not on the team. Kari Blasingame, not on the team. Dane Cruikshank, not on the team. And I think one more, Trevor Simeon, no longer on the team. And let's see any more. Oh, Riley Reef, not on the team. Only signed for $3 million. So there you go. Michael Schofield, another lineman, guard, signed for $1 million, not on the team. Next up, we got the 2023 free agent signings. First up, TJ Edwards, absolute home run. There you go. Probably the best signing Post done in free agency. Next up, Tremaine Edmonds. He's been ish, probably overpaid. He's been okay-ish. He rarely shows up on tape. So, Nate Davis, the worst free agent signing ever in the history of the organization. We know where that went. Terrible by Ryan Poles. Next on the list, we got DeMarcus Walker. He's been solid. He's a starter. So I guess that was a quality free agent signing. So we'll give Poles credit for that one. Next on the list, we have PJ Walker. Not even on the team. Not wasting more time with that one. Next on the list, we have Andrew Billings, who is the second best free agent signing ever by Poles. Solid dude. Sucks that he's injured, but we like that. That's a home run. Next up, Deonta Former, no longer on the team. So let's keep going. Robert Tonyan, absolute garbage signing, garbage on the field. Keep going. Travis Homer, still on the team. He is the lead back now, but he's been injury prone. So I guess that's an okay signing by Ryan Poles. And those are the 2023 free agent signing. All right, grading the 2024 free agent signing from Ryan Poles. First up is Kevin Byard. Pretty solid signing. He's been a stalwart in the backfield. We like that one. Next up on the list is DeAndre Swift. We still trying to figure out how to use him. I think that he's going to get better once we figure out how to properly use him, but it's hard to grade this signing until we figure that out. So I would say it's okay-ish for now. Jonathan Owens, I thought he would actually get more playing time than he's gotten, but the times he's been in there, he's been okay-ish. Not the best, not the worst, but okay. Next up, Gerald Everett. This has to be one of the worst signings. He actually got more run at the beginning of the season than Cole Kmet, and it really wasn't working out. I don't know. At the time, it looked like a good signing, but I don't know. I don't like that signing. So next, Matt Pryor probably saw more playing time than he ever thought. I think he was just signed to be a backup lineman, but with the injury to our line, he's been in there more often than not. So okay-ish signing, I guess. Brett Rippon, not on the team anymore, so we're not going to spend too much time there. Next, Amin Agabamiga. The only time I even hear this dude name called is when he's committing penalties on special teams. So, I mean, I guess you need bodies to fill out the roster, and that's what this one is. So I guess just from a body standpoint, we'll rock with him, but whatever. Next up, Coleman Shelton. I mean, we have a history of signing garbage offensive linemen. Coleman Shelton is on his back at least once or twice every game, which is pretty poor given the fact that he's a center, but that's what it is. Next is Jay Karan, another depth piece lineman that we signed. You know, notice that we tend to sign cheap linemen here. Ryan Poles, what are we doing here, bro? And next up, Jake Martin. I think it's Jacob Martin. Actually, the times that he has been in there when he's not injured, he's been a pretty solid signing. Usually have one of the highest PFF grades for defensive players on the Bears every game, so not too bad. And Dante Pettis, not on the team anymore, so that is what that is. Byron Cowhort, pretty solid depth piece. He's shown flashes. He's okay. He's not a starter, but yeah. So the most glaring problem in Ryan Poles' tenure as GM for this team is that he has not properly built in the trenches. I mean, he tried to draft some offensive linemen and defensive linemen or signed them, but they really haven't been made a high priority. I mean, the highest draft pick for offensive line was Darnell Wright, and the highest for defensive line was Gervon Dexter, but I mean, the rest of them have been like not the best, okay-ish, and the Bears are getting beat on both sides of the trenches every game, it seems like, and it really goes to show why we have the record that we have. It's okay to draft a Caleb Williams or Roma Dunze or whatnot, but if you don't have the linemen to protect or get after the quarterback, then you are lacking some things. And it's kind of crazy that we are 3 years into this and the Bears are still not strong in the trenches where you need to be to have a successful football team. Look at the Detroit Lions. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the San Francisco 49ers. All these teams that are perennial playoff contenders are strong in the trenches. And Ryan Poles has been bargain basement shopping for linemen since he became GM. But y'all saw those free agents signing I alluded to, signing Michael Schofield for $1 million and signing the other guy, I forgot his name. I don't even know his name anymore. Oh, Riley Reed for $3 million. Like, what are we doing here, Ryan? You need to invest heavy money in the trenches if you want to have a solid football team, because you got to build from the inside out. Building from the outside in is not going to be that good if you don't have the inside to fortify what the outside player can do. It's kind of like that quote Jim Harbaugh made. The offensive line is like the only group of people that don't need anybody else to be good. The offensive linemen just need to be good so everybody else can be good. But when you don't build that offensive line, then nobody can be good because the quarterback doesn't have time, the receivers don't have time to get open, and it's a mess. And we've seen the mess play out for 3 years here in Chicago. And that is why Ryan Poles is firmly on the hot seat. Now, Adam Johns from the Hogan John podcast reported earlier today that Ryan Poles is currently on a 4-year deal, which means next season is technically his last under contract. So we have a head coach search about to be underway. So Kevin Warren, being the president of the team, now has 2 options. You can extend Ryan Poles with the incoming head coach that is hired here, so their contract can be married, or depending on what the demands of the incoming head coach are, you might have to fire Ryan Poles if the head coach doesn't want him or he doesn't feel safe with Ryan Poles potentially being on the hot seat. If you don't extend him, then you got to fire him. So this video, everything I've laid out, it will lead you to believe that, you know, we should probably fire Ryan Poles if we really want to get this thing back on the right track. Listen, man, I like Ryan Poles. There have been some awesome moves that he's made, but the mistakes are starting to pile up. And all the things I've highlighted in this video show that there's been some serious lack in the moves that he's made, the non-quality signings and draft picks that he's made, and you can't hide that. You just can't hide it. So, Bear fans, let me know what you think. Are you for keeping Ryan Poles? Are you for firing Ryan Poles? Drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe to The Yard for all things opinionated Chicago Bears talk.